A veteran Russian actress, a veteran Russian producer-director, and a veteran Russian cosmonaut are in the express lane of the orbital highway to the International Space Station, bearing down on the outpost for an arrival 42 minutes from now. Good morning once again from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where flight controllers here are working with their counterparts across the ocean at the Russian Mission Control Center in the town of Korolyov outside Moscow, bearing down and watching their data screens as the Soyuz MS-19 spacecraft with veteran cosmonaut Anton Shkaplerov, actress Yulia Peresild, and producer-director Klim Shipenko are in the final moments of their rendezvous for a two-orbit, quick, fast-track rendezvous to the International Space Station with docking to the Rosviet module on the Earth-facing side of the complex, scheduled less than 42 minutes from now at 7:12 a.m. Central Time, 8:12 a.m. Eastern Time. This journey to the International Space Station began some 2.5 hours ago with the launch of the Soyuz 2.1A booster from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. You see the liftoff there. Liftoff occurring at 1:55 p.m. Baikonur time. The Soyuz arced out to the northeast to an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. The ascent was perfectly normal. Everything went by the book, and 8 minutes and 46 seconds after launch, third stage shutdown occurred on the Soyuz booster. It fell away. Spacecraft separation ensued, and just seconds later, the Soyuz automatically commanded its solar arrays and navigational antennas to deploy, as you see in this clip from the replay that occurred about 2.5 hours ago. Since then, all of the engine firings to raise the orbit of the Soyuz vehicle to match that of the International Space Station have gone perfectly. No issues associated with any of the automated commanding for the Soyuz, which now is in the final stage of its race to catch up to the International Space Station. All of the systems have functioned by the book. No issues associated whatsoever with the rendezvous to this point that is fully automated, with the Corps' automated rendezvous system on both the Soyuz and the International Space Station communicating just fine with each other. If everything goes as planned, this will be an automated rendezvous. However, the Soyuz commander, Anton Shkaplerov, in the center seat of the descent module of the Soyuz, will be at the controls in the unlikely event that he would have to take over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz for its docking. You see in this crew portrait, Shkaplerov in the middle. On the right is Klim Shipenko, the producer-director, who will be shooting the movie called Challenge that will feature Yulia Peresild on the left in this crew portrait. Peresild, a veteran Russian actress, will be portraying a surgeon who is launched on an emergency basis to the International Space Station to conduct surgery on an alien crew member. In this case, that crew member will be portrayed by cosmonaut Oleg Novitsky, who's aboard the International Space Station.
Now, look, let's wait.
Novitsky will be returning with Peresild and Shipenko for a landing in the Soyuz MS-18 spacecraft on October 17th, Kazakhstan time. They will be departing in the vehicle that brought Novitsky, Mark Vande Hei, and Pyotr Dubrov to the station back in April. They will land parachute-assisted landing in the steppe of Kazakhstan on October 17th, Kazakhstan time, late in the evening of October 16th, U.S. time. Shkaplerov will be left behind to continue his mission on board the International Space Station. He will be at the controls of the Soyuz MS-19 when it returns late March of next year with Vande Hei and Dubrov for their landing. For Vande Hei and Dubrov, they'll be wrapping up a 355-day mission on board the International Space Station. Standing by on board the station at this hour, the Expedition 65 crew led by the new station commander Thomas Pesquet of the European Space Agency. He took over command of the station from Aki Hoshide yesterday. This is a clip of the change of command ceremony that took place on Monday. Pesquet becoming the first French astronaut to command the International Space Station. That change of command ceremony handed off the keys to the kingdom, if you will, from Hoshide to Pesquet, who is now the commander. Pesquet will hand off command of the station to Anton Shkaplerov, actually, in...
The range is 500 meters, and the range rate is -8 point.
Before Pesquet returns home with the rest of the Crew Dragon crew that he launched with back in April, Pesquet, Megan MacArthur, Shane Kimbrough, and Hoshide returning to Earth. They will be returning to Earth in their Crew Dragon Endeavour to wrap up their long-duration mission. Pesquet, before he departs, will hand over command of the station to Anton Shkaplerov. The Soyuz MS-19 is closing in for its rendezvous and docking to the International Space Station. The highlights from this point on, you can see the current configuration of the station, the Soyuz MS-18, that Peresild and Shapenko will return to Earth in on October 17th, Kazakhstan time, is docked to the Nauka module. It conducted a relocation from the Rassvet module to the new multipurpose laboratory module, Nauka, 1 week ago. That cleared the Rassvet docking port for the arrival of the MS-19 that you see that will occur with the link-up scheduled to take place about 36 minutes from now. As the Soyuz gets a bit closer to the International Space Station, it will conduct an automated fly-around to precisely position its forward docking probe in the direction of the Rassvet module docking port. That fly-around will start at a range of about 400 meters with the Soyuz separated by that distance from the International Space Station. A fly-around angle of about 59 degrees is planned for the vehicle before it moves into a brief period of station keeping to enable flight controllers and Korolev to take a look and make sure they're happy with the alignment of the Soyuz for its final approach and docking. Once that docking occurs, there will be a few moments to allow the relative motion between the two vehicles to dampen out against one another. That will initiate the retraction of the docking probe to bring the two docking interfaces firm against one another and initiate the closing of the hooks on both sides of the docking interface. That then, in turn, will be followed by a period of almost 2 hours of leak checks before Shkaplerov, Peresild, and Shapenko work to open up the hatch to the Soyuz vehicle. Thomas Pesquet and his Russian colleagues, Oleg Novitsky and Pyotr Dubrov, will open up the hatch on the Rassvet module side of the docking interface, and the new trio of inhabitants of the International Space Station will float on board for a welcoming ceremony that is scheduled at around 9:05 a.m. Central Time, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time.
Moscow. The range is 3 kilometers, 500 meters, and the range rate is -8.6. Copy.
And as you heard through that interpreter, the word from the Russian Mission Control Center is that the Soyuz is now just 3 kilometers away from its docking port at the Rassvet module of the International Space Station, closing at a rate of about 8 meters per second. That rate will slow down considerably with The Soyuz traveling at a very, very glacial pace of about 1/10 of a meter per second at the time of contact and capture to the Rassvet module docking port.
Moscow Station on Space to Ground 1. Just got the tally-ho on Soyuz, and now it's lost again. So the signal is still unstable. We're going to wait until it gets stronger to start recording.
Moscow. The range is 2 kilometers, 800 meters.
I'm getting
and
a
the range
good
rate
sharp
is
image.
8.5. Copy.
And
stand by
I'm ready
for
to press recording if you're go, Moscow.
The Soyuz now just 2 kilometers away from the International Space Station, closing at the appropriate rate. Shipenko and Parasild, again, will spend about 12 days on board the station filming the movie titled Challenge. The first time a movie has been shot in space. That movie filming will begin almost immediately. The crew will have an opportunity for a safety briefing, which is traditional after the welcoming ceremony coming up later this morning. But time is precious to capture all the scenes that they plan to film once on board the station. Most of that shooting of the film will take place in the Russian segment of the International Space Station. There will be scenes that will be filmed in the cupola on the U.S. side of the International Space Station. The 2 spaceflight participants, Parasild and Shipenko, are considered spaceflight participants, not expedition crew members, so they will be escorted into the U.S. segment of the station when required under the terms of the agreements between Roscosmos and NASA and the international partnership.
The operation is not illuminated anymore. Copy. So the delta V is 5.54. So the burn value is 554, and we are monitoring the retrograde maneuver. Copy.
The Soyuz currently conducting a series of so-called impulse burns. These are small mid-course correction burns of the Soyuz engine to fine-tune its path toward the International Space Station.
Now the station is again in the center of the crosshairs, and GSO in attitude flag is on display, is confirmed.
And there is our first view of the Soyuz MS-19.
The range is 1 kilometer, 700 meters, and the range rate is...
Less than 3 hours ago, it was sat on the launch pad at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, and now, through the wonder of orbital mechanics, it is approaching for a docking just 2 orbits later. Fast-track approach for Shkaplerov, Parasild, and Shipenko. Shipenko is board engineer number 1, seated in the left seat. Shkaplerov, the Soyuz commander, in the center seat of the descent module, the center most section of the 3-section Soyuz spacecraft. Parasild is on the right as board engineer number 2. They are actually filming some scenes with handheld cameras while on board for this approach. Novitsky and Dubrov are also shooting imagery that is part of the filmmaking process on board the International Space Station as the Soyuz moves into the final leg of its rendezvous for docking.
Request. Could you please make it in full screen, the image, because we are receiving the image of your input to display currently. Copy. In work.
1.3 kilometers separating Soyuz from the International Space Station, closing at a rate of about 4 meters per second right now.
So
you can occasionally see the engine firings from the Soyuz, impulse burns as they are called, as the Soyuz hones in to its target, which is the Rassvet module docking port on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the station. This view now from a camera on the Soyuz spacecraft, the engineering overlay showing the data that is also being interpreted by the Russian flight controllers in Korolyov. Soyuz just 1 kilometer away.
Moscow.
The Soyuz and the International Space Station currently crossing the equator, moving from southwest to northeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator at an altitude of about 260 statute miles. Good view from external cameras on the station of the Soyuz as it moves steadily towards its target on the Rassvet module.
Braking, confirmed, copy.
Дальность 900, скорость минус 2.76.
The range is 900 meters and the range rate is minus 2.6, minus 2.6. Copy.
We're about 3.5 minutes away from the start of the fly-around by the Soyuz.
The range is 800 meters, and the range rate is minus 2.47. Copy. We have another memory card here.
Дальность 700, скорость минус 2.4.
The range is 700 meters, and the range rate is minus 2.4 meters per second.
The Soyuz and the International Space Station now approaching the west coast of Africa.
5 command in order to work with AGC to improve the image quality. Moscow, depot operation is confirmed. We confirm.
Another one of the small so-called impulse burns has been accomplished. The Soyuz on a true course for its docking to the Rassvet module. Docking is scheduled about 23 minutes from now.
Четкость изображения хорошая, только резкость
So the
не очень.
image is clear, but not very sharp on the monitor. We see the same. We see the station.
500 метров, скорость минус 1.6.
The range is about 500 meters, the range to the station, and the range rate is minus 1.6 meters per second. Copy.
Это уже не для фильма можно. Это уже...
Все так сразу расслабились.
Друзья, вот мы на орбите.
Дальность 450 метров, скорость минус 1.5.
The range is 450 meters, and the range rate is minus 1.5. Copy.
440 meters now separating the Soyuz from the International Space Station. Soyuz with an actress, a producer, and a veteran cosmonaut on board, flying 260 miles over Mauritania.
1.36. So stand by for fly around. Astray. Standing by.
And the fly around is now underway at a range of about 400 meters.
Is confirmed. The range is 390 and the range rate is minus 1.
All of the events right on the timeline. Everything going very smoothly to this point.
That's a beautiful view.
This is about a 60-degree fly around that will precisely align the forward docking probe on the Soyuz with the Rassvet module docking port. A few moments from now, the Soyuz and the International Space Station will be flying just to the south of Casablanca.
150, and the range is minus 0.721. Copy.
Дальность 300 метров, скорость минус 0.56.
The range is 300 meters and the range rate is minus 0.56. Copy. Monitor, continue monitoring the fly around and also the K-15 on display, this final approach flag.
Great view of the Soyuz MS-19 flying over the Moroccan desert. Three hours since the Soyuz launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, heading toward final approach for docking to the Rassvet module, docking scheduled at 7:12 a.m. Central Time.
Yes, MRM-1, Yulia.
Дальность 270 метров, скорость минус 0.4.
The range is 270 meters and the range rate is minus 0.4 meters per second. Copy, Astray.
About halfway through the fly around that will precisely align the Soyuz with the Rassvet module. There will be a very brief period of station keeping. so that Russian flight controllers in Korolyov at the Russian Mission Control Center can evaluate the alignment of the Soyuz with Rosviet.
Нет.
Can you see it through the window? No, I cannot.
Я только такие мигающие, как будто как звезды.
I can only see something blinking.
The Soyuz appears suspended over the textured desert of northern Africa,
The range is 250.
just about completing its fly around.
Minus 0.3. And we are now approaching the docking port. Copy S3.
Круговой поиск СНЦ. Наблюдаю.
So the circular search center is confirmed. Copy, control the switching of course, причал, final approach.
Есть причал курса первого.
Course 1, final approach, flag. We are right opposite the docking port of Emerald 1. The range is 210 meters and the range rate is 0.14. So
The Soyuz automated rendezvous system locked on to the station's automated rendezvous system.
keeping in cone. So I have причал final approach flag K15. Copy.
The Soyuz and the International Space Station now flying over the Mediterranean.
Copy.
Настрой по готовности выполняйте действия по 53 странице, установить рассеивающий экран на войска по вашему усмотрению, включить подсветку войска и включить фару С-17.
Astray, Moscow, so go to page 53, switch on the floodlight, and you also can install the dissipating screen. Copy Moscow, I don't need the screen, and I'm ready to switch on the floodlight. Moscow, the LED fly around is not illuminated and station keeping flag is confirmed. I am activating the floodlight and go to page 54. Copy.
And at a range of some 200 meters, the Soyuz now has begun a brief period of station keeping.
So go to display final approach. I am sending final approach from the rendezvous display. 14:58:45 is the time of the command причал. The LED is on and the GSO.
And the final approach command has been sent. The Russian flight controller is happy with what they're seeing.
200 meters and the range rate is
Final approach initiated. Soyuz 180 meters away.
The range is 180 and the range rate is 0.87. Copy. The target is up by approximately 1 degree to the left and up.
150 meters now separating the Soyuz from its destination.
Range is 140. And we are seeing the
Soyuz now crossing the coast of northern Italy.
All right, we're not receiving any video, so please report and provide a writing commentary.
We're in between satellites on our tracking and data relay satellite system. Should be regaining our downlink signal from the International Space Station a short time from now. Everything continuing to go smoothly. .80 meters now separating the Soyuz from the station. This video now from the Soyuz over Russian ground stations.
Astray, MCC Moscow. The range is 70 meters, and I confirm the target is in the center of the periscope. Range rate is unintelligible and inaudible.
The Soyuz's Core's automated rendezvous system locked on to the docking target on the Rosviet module, 64 meters separating the Soyuz from Rosviet.
Range is 60, and range rate is 0.22. Copy. How do you copy us on VHF loops? Astray, MCC Moscow. How do you copy us? The range is 50. 0.18 is the range rate, and we are to the left by 1 degree. Astray, how do you copy us? Astray, MCC Moscow. Moscow.
You can see in the lower left-hand corner the values that are the key right now, just 46 meters separating Soyuz from the station, closing at a rate of just over 1/10 of a meter per second.
And we see on the display that Moscow. Astray, the comm is pretty ready. And we are selecting course 2 on the panel. And how do you copy? We confirm that there is circular surge. And Astray, this is MCC Moscow. How do you copy us? We confirm the fly around the ISS course 2 is on. The target is moving to the right. MCC Moscow. Astray MCC Moscow, how do you read us? Astray MCC Moscow, how do you copy? And final approach for course 2 is up and illuminated. The target is off to the left by about 1 degree. The crosshairs are aligned. Astray MCC Moscow, how do you copy us? Astray, this is MCC Moscow, how do you copy? We read you loud and clear now. Wonderful. There was a dropout, so we didn't copy you last. But we are monitoring the activation of course 2 system and final approach for the course mode. And please, from the final approach display, send the final approach enabled command. Copy, in work. I am ready for the final approach command to be sent. Moscow, do you want me to send it? Go ahead. Send the final approach command. Done. Currently, the range is 70. We're off by one degree, and the crosshairs are aligned. The range rate is 0.3. The target is in the center of the periscope. We copy all. Anton. Range is 60. Range rate is 0.25. Are you receiving the video, Moscow? Yes. Anton, go ahead. If the range is at 40 meters, please, unintelligible, please switch automatically into RODK, digital control loop, and manual docking. Copy. Range is 50, range rate 0.18, and I confirm that we see the docking node, the crosshairs are aligned. Astray, FYI, 1519 is the sunset. Copy. The range is 45 meters.
This is Mission Control Houston. 45 meters separating Soyuz from the International Space Station, still flying in under the automatic control of the Corps' automated rendezvous system. There was a brief pause for a bit of a correction in the orientation of the Soyuz to the Rassvet module docking port. Everything seems to be in order.
So, range rate is 0.14. The offset is about 1 degree, but the crosshairs are aligned and the target is in the center of the periscope.
Slowly but surely closing in, now at a range of just over 30 meters away, closing at a rate of 1/10 of a meter per second.
Astray, just FYI, we have 10 minutes of comm left. Copy. Range is currently 30 meters. Yes, and I confirm that the range is 30 meters, the range rate is 0.11, and we confirm that course second has failed, and I am sending the RODK digital control loop command. Yes, it's all as we actually predicted. I am sending the Rodeka, and I'm switch over to the manual controls, control approach and docking, and go to page 60. Going to page 60. How do you copy us? I see the ISS, and I'm jumping to page 61. Please proceed working for page 61. I am on page 61. Aerodeka L1 digital control loop is illuminated. Anton, do not even look at course. Just do it visually, everything visually. Copy. On input panel, KSP left selected. On input right, I am switching to Aerodeka digital control loop.
This is Mission Control Houston. With some RADI data being acquired through the Corps' automated rendezvous system, Anton Shkaplerov has now taken over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz for the final few meters prior to docking.
Copy. I'm selecting depot thruster selection. K1 is illuminated. K1 is illuminated. I'm deactivating gas 6. Confirm. Gas 6 is sent. We don't have wide angle, narrow angle lens illuminated. I am verifying the hand controller test. Up, down, left, right, clockwise, counterclockwise for translational hand controller. Successful. Translational hand controller is working. Up, down, left, right. Switch towards me, pulling towards me, E and away. There is a little bit of jumping image when I'm doing the test. Station keeping complete. I'm not going to be putting on an overlay display. AGC mode is not illuminated. The headlight is illuminated.
Shkaplerov has conducted a quick test of the hand controller on the Soyuz vehicle, manually flying the Soyuz in, following some RADI data on the Corps' automated rendezvous system. He has defaulted under the direction of the Russian flight controllers to a manual approach.
It's okay. It's all good. The target is to the right and up. There will be a pretty radicom. Yes, and it's within 1 degree. How are you? I'm all right. This is Julia. And it's going to come up in 15:35. That's when we're going to get the comm back. Okay, copy. And the target is in the center of the periscope, so please provide us. The docking node is off by 1.5 squares, and the range is about 45 meters. The sky is illuminated.
Shkaplerov took over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz after the Corps' automated rendezvous system had guided the Soyuz and its 3 occupants in to a distance of about 75 meters. There was some RADI communications and some RADI data that was observed from Corps So Shkaplerov was directed by the Russian flight controllers to take over manual control of the flying. There was a brief period of station keeping once again, and now everything appears to be in order with the docking target aligned with the crosshairs on the external camera of the Soyuz vehicle.
But you should be able to see it already with the headlight. I can see everything really well. The station is in the center of the periscope. The crosshairs are aligned, and the range is about 40 meters. I have the input panel enlarged to full screen.
Just 35 meters separating Soyuz from Rosviet. You can see the docking port almost in the center of the crosshairs.
Everything clearly on VSK. And currently the docking node is a little bit off, about 1.5 squares, and we are at 20-30 meter range. I'm performing the station keeping. Station keeping is complete. We copy. Once you are ready, approach to the range of 3 meters. I am ready. Please verify that SSVP is ready. 5 SSVP is not. D7 is illuminated. D9 is illuminated. D13 and 17 are all illuminated. Copy. I'm proceeding. Please check S11. S11. You are working per page 62. S11. I see it. S11 is illuminated. I am prepping translational hand controller pulse mode. Anton, we have very little time left. And the range is about 25 meters. So please do not forget about 3 meter range. Copy. Well, and after that, just as you trained for, you'll be fine.
We'll be passing out of range of Russian ground stations momentarily, but the direction to Anton Shkaplerov is to continue to push in manually towards docking, about 25 meters separating Soyuz from the Rosviet module.
Anton, go ahead. Even if, please proceed with the final approach and docking, even if we don't have any comm. On VSK, we are off by 3 squares. We are in the at about 20 meter range, and I sense unintelligible. Copy. Anton, 1 minute till sunset. We copy. Proceed, provide running commentary if you can so that we could try and listen in. R5, Romeo 5, is that one? Yes, that one.
Soyuz and the International Space Station flying over eastern China, moving from northwest to southeast. Soyuz about 18 meters away from docking, being flown manually by the Soyuz commander Anton Shkaplerov.
The target is off by 1.5 squares. Anton, please do not forget to deactivate the translational hand controller and the RODK after the probe retraction. RODK digital control loop should be off after the probe retraction. And we are going to come back at 35 minutes. Correction, com is going to be back at 15:36. Well, God be with us. Good luck to us. Guys, what's the range? Astray, what is your range? Do you want me to deactivate it? Astray, come in. This is MCC Moscow. I'm standing by for contact. You sent the, so we confirm a mechanical connection, mechanical capture confirmed, and we confirmed depot thrust activation is not illuminated. Translational and rotational hand controllers are not illuminated. We confirm that the docking mechanism is engaged. Astray, MCC Moscow, go ahead. We are continuing. Aeroaka, we no longer have the Aerodeka digital and analog control loops illuminated. Don't forget about Gulf 4 command. Anton, and this one is not illuminated. The probe is retracting. Victor 9 is not illuminated, and we are on the final approach display. All right.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Anton Shkaplerov reporting mechanical capture or docking occurring at 7:22 a.m. Central Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time. The docking probe in the process of being retracted.
Command is sent. Victor 8.
We did not have downlink television, and we had choppy communications at the time of docking, which now is confirmed 7:22 a.m. Central, 8:22 a.m. Eastern.
Skip anything, so we don't need to deactivate the translational hand control and then pulse mode. Then you need to deactivate Aerodeka mode. Aerodeka digital control mode is off. BIOS L8 command, L8 sent and agreed. It's not illuminated. Let's check. And then this one, V9. Which one? Okay, we already did that. We did have it. So let's check the KDU parameters. Everything's nominal, and we are jumping on 2357. Copy. Well, hold on. I'm leafing through, and we are sending the R7 command. R7 switching to the wide-angle lens. R7 command is sent. All right.
Once again, docking occurring at 7:22 a.m. Central Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time. Anton Shkaplerov flying the Soyuz manually in for a docking after some communications issues occurred with the Corps' automated rendezvous system that prompted the Russian flight controllers to have Shkaplerov fly in manually. Again, contact and capture occurring at 7:22 a.m. Central, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time, as the Soyuz and the International Space Station flew 260 miles just to the north of the Philippine Islands.
Start and start. And start confirmed.
Oleg or Piotr, how do you read me?
Nice. So 15:25, that's the time. And we can start the timer. We need about 15 minutes between, and then we can deactivate TVS system, TV video system on input panel 2, and in parallel to that, we'll be verifying the, checking out the compartments, and then deactivate the TV. Astray, MCC Moscow. Get 4. Don't forget about Get 4. They mentioned that to us. All right, Get 4. TV is off. TVS, right? Is that the TV? Yes, and let's now send the Get 4 deactivate command. It was illuminated, and now turning it off. Delta 4. Now switching over to display station. How are you doing, guys? Anybody? Do we need any measurements? No. They are going on in the background. Don't worry about that. And TVS, Oleg, how do you copy us? What was the capture time? Monitor it here. Piotr, could you tell us the time of contact? Astray, MCC Moscow.
There was
I was trying to take pictures from the GA. Well, just an approximate. Oh, it was about 5 minutes ago. Around 20 or 2022. No, not earlier than that. Astray, MCC Moscow. S13, let's verify. S13 is illuminated. Hooks are open. D17 is not illuminated. Delta 15 should be illuminated. Confirm. Latches Delta 13 are not illuminated. Okay, Delta 11. D11 is illuminated. SM probe not illuminated. All right. Good. Golf 11. Let's move over to there. And then we'll be standing by. Maybe we'll get the comm back.
Astray, MCC Moscow, so 2 course sets failed. Yeah, we didn't like it either, you know. So both failed. So can we start doing unintelligible? Not yet. Anton, so should we check the probe D17, D15? I have already checked that. Now we are standing by for the 11. Once it is illuminated, Astray, Moscow, so the repress is on. Moscow, Astray 1, how do you copy me? We copy you loud and clear. How do you copy us, Anton? Anton. So, you know, I cannot hear you very well, Piotr. So, you know, on space to ground 1, the comm is not stable. This is Piotr. Okay. So, all right. So I will have to deactivate the repress. All right. We are standing by for day 11.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Confirmation has been received that the hooks are now closed, forming a hard mate between the Soyuz and the Rassvet module on the Earth-facing side of the International Space Station.
This is Moscow. How do you read me? On Space to Ground 1.
Did you call me? Did somebody call me? The 11 is on.
Once again, some unexpected communications issues in the home stretch of what had been a clean and flawless rendezvous by the Soyuz following its launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The final approach took a bit longer than usual as Anton Shkaplerov took over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz for the final few meters. Station keeping at one point, aligning the Soyuz docking probe with the Rassvet module, finally pushing in on final approach for contact and capture at 7:22 a.m. Central Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time.
30:45 is the time.
No,
15:31 to be more exact. So SSBB is deactivated as one on both display. S3 Moscow, also the log record. Oleg.
So it took a few extra minutes, but Russian actress Yulia Peresild, her producer-director Klim Shipenko, Soyuz commander Anton Shkaplerov are now safely engaged at the International Space Station. The docking probe is in the process of retracting. Hooks are closed, and leak checks will begin a short time from now that will lead to the opening of the hatch between the Soyuz and the Rassvet module.
Okay, so bear with us because we're not hearing them, so they may not.
Moscow,
we are hearing them,
you know,
but they may not
can hear you quite well, so you can provide the running commentary.
So
Moscow,
please,
we have completed all the actions as per page 57, deactivated SSBB after we have the 11th, the probe is retracted, and so the mode is executed. LED,
I have relayed this
illuminated.
information to.
So we also recorded all the names of the files in the log, and we are at page 58 right now. We are checking AKG.
Okay, I have you loud and clear now.
Space Ground 1, we've got you.
Copy that. You may.
So the pressure in ESA 801.
The hooks are closed on both sides of the docking interface. That now confirmed through telemetry from the Russian Mission Control Center. So the Soyuz MS-19 safely at port, and a Russian actress and her producer-director are on set at the International Space Station for 12 days of movie making.
How do you copy us? Moscow, this is S31. So after the 5-minute measurement, this ESA pressure is 801. In BO, it is 826, and in the instrumental compartment, it's 893. The delta
So we expect to have
in ESA and BO is 0, and it is 1 in the instrumentation compartment, and the next measurement will be taken in 15 minutes. Okay, now we will have to wait for 15 minutes. Maybe the comm will resume, hopefully. So, Oleg, can you relay to Moscow that we have completed 57 page actions, and now we are on page 58. The 5-minute measurement is complete.
This is Mission Control Houston. The crew on board the Soyuz, Shkaplerov, Peresild, and Shipenko, now evaluating all of their systems following the docking of the Soyuz to the International Space Station's Rassvet module. It was conducted manually by Anton Shkaplerov, but and a few minutes behind schedule, but the docking occurring at 7:22 a.m. Central, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time. The docking probe retracted as planned. Hooks are closed on both sides of the docking interface. Leak checks at that docking interface will begin a short time from now.
МКС СУП Москвы в канале СГ-1 для Олега и Петра. Для информации через...
Station Moscow.
Будет.
Space to ground 1 in the blind for Oleg.
So,
and
2022,
FYI, we should have a stable
we did the
comeback
measurement.
in about 2 minutes.
So,
Moscow Station.
we will have to do a transition route to the
Space to
transport
ground 1,
position.
this is Oleg.
I think it will be easier from now on.
64 and Electron, you were saying something about that, but I couldn't understand what I need to do that.
You know, we
NPEV
should have
needs
some kind
to
of
be
instruction for the activation.
Positioned to electrical control mode. Okay, if I heard you correctly, Electron needs to be switched to
Okay, so the backlight unit should be stowed. Yes, we will do that. Astrey, Moscow, how do you copy? Anton. Yes, I copy you loud and clear. I copy you loud and clear,
Moscow
Moscow.
Station, space to
We are
ground
at
1.
page 58, standing by for 15 minutes to do the link check. After 5 minutes, there were no issues. How do
I
you
heard
copy?
your report about PEV,
Do you copy
that
us?
it's
How are things?
in electrical control now.
So after the docking,
And,
what did you do,
once
Anton?
again,
I worked
since,
page 57,
you are
deactivated
copying
the
us,
headlight,
much
we
better
closed
now.
RPV1,
I'd like you to
and started checking,
transition
doing the link check.
Electron
After 5
to
minutes, we
32M mode.
didn't have any issues.
Moscow
NSA
Station
vector
on
was
space
0,
to
and
ground
in
1.
instrumentation compartment it was 1. Anton, I know that.
I have stopped.
Great job. You know, there are some people who would like to talk to you. We will prepare the com from Baikonur. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
Антон Николаевич, слушайте.
Anton Nikolaevich, this is Rogozin speaking. Can you hear me? Do you copy? Yes, I do.
Я вас поздравляю с успехом.
Congratulations with the successful docking, Anton.
Ребят, поздравляю.
You and, of course, Yuli and Klim, we were observing you from Baikonur, so the State Commission also is congratulating you. We wish you to start your mission challenge successfully. Thank you so much for your congratulations and greetings. How are you feeling? How is your mood? Everything is great. We managed even to do some shooting, filming. Yes, and actually, you know, she looks well. I mean, Yulia. Yeah, it was a little bit dramatic at the end. You know, just for your, you know, in order for your movie to be more dramatic. Yes, that's, we thought that as much. All right, now get ready for the operations, and now Konstantin Lvovich will be talking to you. How are you feeling, guys? Feeling great. Everything is good, and I can confirm they are feeling well. Dmitry Olegovich has already said that the situation was created, you know, for your purposes, that as if there was an agreement for that. But when you start filming and the camera starts operating, you know, you don't have anything, any other options but to act. So how is Yulia feeling? Well, she is round, a little bit puffed, but she is very beautiful. And nevertheless, we had beautiful sunsets and sunrises. So we looked at out of the window a little bit. It was a breathtaking view. Guys, the whole country and even the whole world was watching, you know, observing your flight. Anton was great. So what about our kids on the ground? How are they? Your kids are fine. Don't worry. Well, this is the most important thing. We are also feeling fine. So, you know, the kids sometimes are much more reasonable and behave better in these situations than adults. Yes, I agree. So Mishustin, the Prime Minister, is also congratulating you, and he said that he watched the launch, and so President administration representatives also are sending their regards. So you have a lot of responsibility upon your shoulders. So I think that you will start your adaptation to the weightlessness, and will start working as per your schedule. You don't have much time, actually, and we will be standing by for the results of your great work. Again, congratulations. And we wish you success in everything, and of course to successfully transition to the station and start working. Thank you so much.
Congratulatory words from Dmitry Rogozin, the head of the Russian space agency Roscosmos, from the Baikonur Hotel at the launch site in Baikonur, Kazakhstan, almost 4 hours after the Soyuz MS-19 launched to the International Space Station, culminating a two-orbit rendezvous just a few minutes behind schedule as Anton Shkaplerov took over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz due to some communications issues in the home stretch of the approach for the contact and capture to the Rassvet module. All of that ultimately successful, with docking occurring at 7:22 a.m. Central Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time, as the Soyuz and the International Space Station flew 260 miles just north of the Philippine Islands. The docking probe was retracted to form a hard mate, hooks closed on both sides of the docking interface, and leak checks at that docking interface will take place a short time from now. That will lead to the opening of the hatches, enabling Shkaplerov, Russian actress Yulia Peresild, and her producer-director Klim Shipenko to enter the international outpost for 12 days of movie making.
The propellant 488. The first vertical tank 81. Second 243. Copy. That's propellant.
Мало? Интересно. Время отсветки ориентировочно 15.
The time of the docking mechanism engaged is approximately 15:21. SEPCA or docking mechanism engaged 15:21. Copy. Now I'm at page 58. I have instruction on the display after the docking mechanism engaged. So the LED is not illuminated. The KDU repress is not illuminated. ISN and navigation equipment is not illuminated. KSP command signal matrix. I am transitioning to the KSP right and waiting for your go to do the transition.
Остается по Москве.
Astray, MCC Moscow.
Повторите.
Moscow, come again.
Разрешаю выполнять действия по указанию Земли переход на МБС, страница 58.
So it's a go to transition to MBS, hotline com. It is page 58. Could you please repeat? Is it a go? Yes, it is a go. So I'm releasing the push-to-talk buttons and transition to MBS, hotline com. Astray, Moscow, on space to ground 1. How do you copy? We copy you loud and clear. We also copy you loud and clear via MBS com. So we are transitioning to the joint power. You stand by. We will give you a go. Okay, we're standing by for your go. Crew members talking to each other. If you cannot secure it until it clicks, you can do it at maximum length and then secure it with a hook. Okay. Astray, Moscow. Go ahead, Moscow. It's a go to transition to joint power as per page 58. Copy. I'm sending B5 command.
Принято, Петр, спасибо. Ну, осталось нам камеры только проверить для репортажа. Ты можешь сделать по форме 24.
Now, B7 command is being sent. The 1 command. And I'm taking 15-minute measurement, but actually we don't need any more measurements. That's all? Yes, that's all. The 1 joint power. Moscow, Astray 1, I completed all actions as per page 58, copy. So you're now on joint power, on the joint power with the station. Yes, the LED is illuminated, copy. Just for your reference, the SKV 128 and 0 will be entered, copy. Astray, now go to page 59, SABO hatch opening and transitioning to BO. Copy. Page 16. No, it is 59. No, page 16. Opening of the hatch, equalize the pressure, open the lock of the cover of the hatch, so on and so on. Okay, so let us start taking off all the straps so that it is not in the way. Okay, it won't be in the way. Well, we can actually switch on lights here. So why are we in the dark? Yes, of course. I can buckle it up like this so that it will be more comfortable for you to tag it. Yes, of course. Thank you. Well, can we release the straps here? Well, but you know, you will start moving upwards. Yeah, but you can stretch your legs. All right, so we should start equalizing pressure between SR and BO. Okay, so in SI it is 801 and in BO it is 825. Now let us start equalizing the pressure, monitoring equalization. Moscow Astray-1, we are equalizing pressure between the descent module and orbital module BO. Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston. Just to recap, despite some communications issues that forced Anton Shkaplerov, the Soyuz commander of the MS-19 vehicle, to take over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz for the final few meters and its final approach for docking, the link up to the International Space Station's Rassvet module did occur without incident. It occurred normally. A few minutes behind schedule at 7:22 a.m. Central Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time, as the Soyuz and the station flew 260 miles just north of the Philippine Islands. The docking probe on the Soyuz retracted, and hooks closed on both sides of the docking interface to form a hard mate between the two vehicles. Shkaplerov, Russian actress Yulia Peresild, and her producer-director, Klim Shipenko, are now at the International Space Station. They will begin a series of leak checks that should result in the opening of the hatches between the Soyuz and the International Space Station around 9:05 a.m. Central Time, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. We will be back on the air for hatch opening coverage about 40 minutes from now at 8:30 Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we'll follow along as pressure and leak checks are conducted, and the depressurization, the repressurization of the small vestibule, the small passageway between the Soyuz and the Rassvet module takes place. That will lead to the opening of the hatches and the greetings between the crew members, the Expedition 65 crew led by Thomas Pesquet of the European Space Agency, who is the new station commander, and the newly arrived inhabitants of the station, as 12 days of movie making will begin for Peresild and Shipenko for their movie called Challenge. Once again, docking occurring a few minutes behind schedule, but nonetheless successfully at 7:22 a.m. Central Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time. So don't go away. We'll be back shortly at the bottom of the hour at 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern, with our hatch opening coverage for the Soyuz MS-19. For now, this is Mission Control Houston.